These 5 things will typically make your ex miss you even if they are the ones that left you. The first is to go completely silent on them. This is more than what you might think this is, because typically what people think this is that you are just not going to reach out to them through text or calls. But what this entails is that you need to completely block yourself off from this person entirely. What this looks like is you going no contact with them, deleting them on social media, or blocking their number, or even changing any physical locations that you guys would go to when you were in the relationship. What you are essentially doing here is that you are cutting yourself off from this person entirely. And the reason why you are doing this is because you are not only going to send this person a signal that you are not going to just be waiting around for them to come back whenever they're ready, but you are essentially going to give yourself the time and space away from the relationship so that you can begin to focus on yourself, because that is what makes someone really realize the magnitude of losing you, right? When they try to reach out to you or try to get some type of update on you and they're not able to get that, this starts to cause them to think about things and wonder, what are you doing? Who are you with? All of these different things, and they start to question whether or not they made the right decision in leaving you. When they have some form of access to you, though, they feel like they have enough to kind of keep tabs on you and feel comfortable enough to do whatever they want with whoever they want, and to feel that you are going to be there whenever they're ready to come back to you. So they don't ever really take you seriously because they pretty much know what you're doing. When you completely cut off that access, this again starts to get them to think about things, and because of that, they will typically start to miss you in some way or some form, which leads perfectly into number 2, and that is to stop giving them what they took for granted. Stop giving them your patience, your kindness, your understanding, all of these things that you are trying to do to get them to want to come back into your life. You have to cut this off. And I know that this is so challenging for you to do because there is a part of you that obviously wants to get back with this person, and it seems so counterproductive to essentially not do that and go cold on them. But you have to understand, again, when you are doing that to them, you are showing them that it is okay for them to not have to prioritize trying to get with you, and they can essentially do whatever they're doing while they're single, and you can essentially give them the best of both worlds, in that you are giving them all of this love and commitment and all these different things, and not letting them realize the actual magnitude of losing you, right? Because when you stop this, you are making them realize the reality of things, and that is they could lose you essentially, right? This whole time they've probably been thinking about how it's a major loss for you to lose them, but in actuality, it's also going to be a major loss for them in some way or some form, right? So while you are not giving them that, they again will start to crave that because they do love that part, right? They do want that, and they do want to have that type of connection with you, but they don't realize it because they've been so accustomed to that always being there. And when you take that away, this again starts to get them to wake up to the reality of things and really start to question whether or not they want to go through with this and not have you in their life. Number 3 is to level up quietly. Now, this is something where people can go wrong here, in the sense that they may try to do this publicly, right? I understand why somebody would want to do something like that, because you want to show the person all the different amazing things that you're doing for yourself and how you're bettering, in hopes that you'll get their attention, and then they will start to want to actually be curious, and then they'll actually be attracted in some way or some form, essentially causing them to miss you and then coming back into your life. But people can typically sniff out that, right? They can really see that you are genuinely doing this because you want to try to get that attention, and it causes them to push away even more. But when you do it quietly, and then some way or some form they figure out that you are actually leveling up, they start to really get nervous, because they're like, whoa, they're leveling up without even saying anything to me. What is going on? Like, they're actually moving on. What's happening, right? This again starts to get them to be very curious about things. And because you did it quietly, like, this is more authentic, right? And it typically is, because when you do things in the background, you tend to do it for yourself, and you're not looking for other people's approvals and things like that. So naturally, they're going to wonder what's going on. Are you with somebody? Like, What's causing you to want to level up, right? And that's where you'll typically start to see the ex start to poke around and starting to see what's going on. Maybe they'll even send you a message to kind of say that I'm checking in on you, or whatever it is that they're just trying to get some kind of insight into what's going on, which leads perfectly into number 4, and that is do not react to them checking in on you. This again was where they are typically going to reach out to you to kind of see what's happening, right? They're going to send you a message that's something on the lines of, hey, I've been thinking about you, just wanting to see how things are, or whatever that might be. And at first you might get excited thinking like, this is it, this is them finally realizing the magnitude of leaving you, and they're going to want to come back into your life. But what typically this is them testing the waters. They want to test you to see if this is real or not, right? They want to know whether or not this change that you are making, this leveling up, you separating yourself from them, is real, or are you essentially trying to do this to get their attention? And if you respond with an emotional text or instantly respond to them, that signals to them that you are doing this for them. And because of that, that's where they will typically not really feel like they miss you, because they feel like, oh, okay, like this person is still trying to do everything that they can to get back with me. I can continue to do what I want, and they're going to be waiting for me, right? This is why you want to not respond to these things. As hard as it's going to be, it's so important for you to do that. This is something that you are doing for yourself, essentially, and not for them. And number 5 is to reinvent yourself without them. This is essentially where you are putting yourself first. You are figuring out who you are and what you want to be, and you are standing on that, right? You are no longer focused on them and their wants and their needs, and you are essentially putting yourself first and making sure that you are doing the things that you want and rediscovering yourself or reinventing that person that you've always been. And this is so crucial because you are showing not only everyone else but yourself that you are now the number one priority here. No longer are you going to essentially put aside your want and needs for somebody else, and you are essentially going to do what you want and need. And I'm hoping that you realize that this is what this whole entire video is about, right? You are essentially doing this for yourself. You're not doing this with the main objective of getting this person back, which I know can be a little bit deceiving because when you first clicked on this video, you thought like that's exactly what you want. But the thing about it is that them missing you is a byproduct of you essentially prioritizing yourself and not focusing on whether or not this person is going to come back into your life or even miss you. Because the truth of the matter is that you can't control that. You don't know if this person is ever going to get to that place where they actually want to miss you, because there's a plethora of other things that could be going on in their mind or could happen. And you cannot control that, whether or not this person does or does not. The only thing that you can control is yourself. And that's why all of these steps are stuff that you can do for yourself. And the most important thing, if you can take away anything out of this video, is that you need to make it about yourself. You need to do this for yourself. You're not doing this for anyone else on this entire planet but you. As much as you want this person back in your life and you want them to miss you so badly because you feel like this person is the best thing in your life and that, you know, you're never going to find any love or whatever it might be that you're telling yourself as to why you need to get them back into your life, you really need to understand that that is not important. It's a valid feeling that you have, but what is so important for you is to, again, put yourself first and understanding that it is time for you to do what's best for yourself. And the more that you commit to this, it's going to be a win-win for you either way. Because either one, they end up coming back, missing you more than ever, realizing that they made a mistake, or two, you fully move on and you are healed, and because of that you are going to have healthy relationships with a bunch of other people, and you'll find somebody else who will love and care for you even better than your ex could ever in your life. So again, I know that this may be something that you don't want to hear, but it is the truth and is what is actually going to lead to your own happiness. I hope that you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.